老师非常帅 The teacher is very handsome. Yeah, the teacher is very handsome. 大家好，我叫季凯轩. Hello everyone, my name is Will Zot. Welcome to Will's Chinese. Today we're going to be learning about adjectives in Chinese language. Let's go! So, one thing you should know about Chinese adjective is it's a little bit different from the English adjective because you cannot use the verb to be to link the noun and the adjective. So, for example, in English you say something like, I am bright. She is beautiful. The verb to be, which is she in Chinese language, cannot be used to link the verb and the adjective. So you can't say 我是漂亮. So that is wrong in Chinese language. Another thing you should know is that the Chinese adjectives are assumed to already have the verb to be in them. So for example, the word 冷 can be translated to English as to be cold. So if you say 我是冷, it means you're saying I am cold, or you're saying I am a cold. In this aspect, the word cold there has been used as an object because she can only be paired with objects. So how do we say I am cold in Chinese language? You can say 我冷了. 我 means I, 冷 means to be cold, and 了 is a grammatical particle that shows that a situation or a condition has changed. So that is the first way. The second way to say I am cold is 我很冷. 我很冷. 很 here means very, although in this aspect it's used to represent the verb to be. 我很冷, which means I am cold, or I am very cold. But if we want to emphasize the word very in Chinese language, we can use the word 非常. 非常. So you can say 我非常冷. 我非常冷, which means I am very cold. So now let's look at the structure. Noun or noun phrase plus adverb plus adjective. The adverbs can be 非常, 真, or the negative adverb like 不. For example, 老师非常帅. The teacher is very handsome. Yeah, the teacher is very handsome. 玛丽真快. Mary is really fast. And 他们的烤鸭不便宜. Their roasted duck isn't cheap. Now let's look at some adjectives and their antonyms. The first adjective we're looking at is happy. In Chinese you can say 高兴 or 开心. 高兴 or 开心. For example, you can say 她很开心, which means she is happy. Then the antonym is 难过. 难过. 难过 means to be sad. So you can say 她很难过, which means he is sad. The next adjective we're looking at is about looks. For example, 可爱. 可爱 means to be cute. 漂亮 to be beautiful. 帅 to be handsome. For example, 我的哥哥很帅. My elder brother is very handsome. The antonym is 丑. 丑 means to be ugly. For example, 这只老鼠不丑. This rat isn't ugly. Let's look at some adjectives about speed. 快 means fast. For example, 这匹马很快. 这 means this. P is a measure word for animal like donkey, zebra, or horse. You can check my video on measure words in the description. And ma is horse, which means this horse is fast. The opposite is man. For example, 我爸爸的车很慢. My dad's car is very slow. 热 is the next adjective, which means hot. For example, 今天很热. Today is hot. And the opposite is 冷, which means to be cold. For example, you can say 我太冷了, which means I am so cold. The next adjective is 大. 大 means to be big. For example, 宝宝的头真大. The baby's head is really big. The opposite is 小, which means small. For example, 这辆自行车太小了, which means this bicycle is so small. Note that if you add the two adjectives together, it will turn to a noun. For example, 大 and 小. 大小, which means size. For example, 这不是我的大小, which means this is not my size. The next adjective we're looking at is 贵, 贵, which means expensive. For example, 这件衣服很贵. 这件衣服很贵, which means these clothes is expensive. The opposite is 便宜, 便宜, which means cheap. For example, 我的手机不便宜. 我的手机不便宜, which means my phone is not cheap. Next adjective is 高. 高 means to be tall. For example, 她非常高, which means she is very tall. I is the opposite of 高, which means short. 她很矮 is short. If we combine 高 and I together, it will mean height. 高矮. For example, 他们俩高矮差不多. The two of them are about the same height. The next adjective is 长, which means to be long. For example, 这条河很长. 这条河很长. Remember, 这 means this. 桥 is the measure word for something that is long. And 河 means river. 这条河很长, which means this river is long. And the opposite is 短, 短. For example, 这次的假期有点短. The holiday is a bit short this time. If we combine 长 and 短, it will give us 长短, which means length. For example, you can say 这两件衣服的长短都一样. The length of these two clothes are the same. The next adjective is 新, which means new. For example, 我买了新的手机. I bought new phone. The opposite is 旧, which means old. For example, 这本书很旧, which means this book is old. The next word is 多, which means many. For example, 很多蜘蛛侠, which means many Spider-Man. 小 means few or little. For example, 这道菜太小了. This dish is so little. If we combine 多 and 小 together, it means amount or quantity. But if the 小 is a neutral tone, it means how many or how much, which is an interrogative pronoun. You can find the videos about interrogative pronoun in the description link. For example, 你有多少朋友? 你有多少朋友? How many friends do you have? The last adjective we're looking at today is 好, which means good. For example, 我的成绩非常好. My result is very good. One interesting thing about 好 is that you can combine it with some verb to bring about a new adjective. For example, 好 and 吃. 好 means good, 吃 means to eat. So 好吃, good to eat, which means delicious. 好喝, good to drink, which means tasty. 好用, good to use, which means useful. how, can. Good, to look at or to watch, which means good looking or interesting. Thank you for watching this video. I'm sure you've learned one or two things about Chinese language. If you have any question, you can just drop it in the comment section. And don't forget to always like and subscribe. And share this video to those people that are interested in learning Chinese language. Alright, see you in the next class. 再见。